Love is love.
So now we're off to season 3.
What are those girls doing? Aloha from Hawaii.
Any weird noises in the background are our dogs.
If he was a person, he would have been high-fiving on the field.
Life, love, social issues, and everyday issues at the Girls Hour.
Authors.
It was like everything was thrown at us at once. We were brought to our knees, and it was like, okay, are we going to do this or are we not? And if we're going to do it, how are we going to do it?
Not Walter.
Nope.
Musician. When you're going through the hard times, you're struggling to keep everything you can afloat. And it's really hard to enjoy that. And we're still married.
In the
That's what Jen's trying to say. I couldn't get away with that in New York when I was working. One brown shoe, one black shoe. I would have been like devastated. I would have sent myself home.
Lesson learned in life. Never say never.
Say never.
The Girls Hour with Jen and Michele.
Hi, and welcome to the Girls Hour with Jen and Michele.
I'm Jennifer Arima.
And I'm Michele Musso. Our show is about our life, community, interest, and passions. We share who we are and our world, talking about topics that interest us from our perspective. We feature a plethora of guests highlighting artists, authors, organizations, causes, and events. So join us now, right now, on the Girls Hour as we bring our world to yours.
We are back for season 3 of the Girls Hour, and if you are a reoccurring listener and follower, you now know that you are following us from the island of Maui in the paradise state of Hawaii.
And we just played DNCE, Cake by the Ocean. That's quite appropriate for us, I think.
So
how awesome does it feel to be here? We have talked about this for the longest time, and if you've followed us, you know that Jen and I, we've always mentioned about how we go to Maui, and here we are. We're in Hawaii.
Well, unfortunately, for the last year, we weren't really able to talk about it too much since, we had jobs and responsibilities. But it had been something on the back burner and something that we had actually, I've wanted to do it for the last 16 years. I had lived here in Hawaii for many years in the 90s, and then I moved back, and my goal was to always get back here. And when Michele and I met and we started dating, it was one of those things where hi, my name is Jennifer, whatever, you say the basics things about yourself. And I said, and by the way, in 2016, I will be moving to Hawaii. So it was one of those where now it's up to you to decide.
And I was like, say what?
Yeah. Do you want to continue this date or do you want to wait?
It was that martini, sweetheart.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It was
she
that
would have
martini.
followed me anywhere in the world.
I was like, she makes the perfect martini. I'm done. A martini's in Maui. You can't beat that. Mai Tais.
So now here we are. We've been living here I've been here for 3 months, and Michelle's officially been here for a month. We had we sold our house, as many of you knew. We put it on the market July 15th and signed the papers on November 15th. So kudos to our awesome realtor, Elise, out there listening.
Yes,
Elise. Couldn't have done that without you. And the kids came over the summer, so we were able to clean up the house and move forward. And my job new, and then you handled your job, and we closed up all our loose ends, and little by little,
here we are.
So now we're off to season 3, and as we say with season 1 and season 2 and all the shows in between, any weird noises in the background are our dogs.
Yeah, if you're just starting to listen to us, and what is the Girls Hour? We are big advocates of our pets, and we take them with us. That we rescue, we fostered. So having Walter and Bodie with us, and they're in here and they make sounds, and you go, what are those girls doing?
Yeah. 'Cause we sometimes
it's not
look
us.
at each other.
I promise, it's not us.
And speaking of getting them to following them, and working for volunteering for rescue networks, and being such advocates for dog rescuing, what it took for us to get our dogs to Hawaii, I'd be hard pressed to listen to people give up their reasons, to share their reasons for giving up their dogs. Because if there was ever a reason to say, oh, we can't do this, money-wise, time-wise, doctors-wise, following the rules of Hawaii, the stress of it, But
it's well worth it, of course.
Of course, absolutely. I took Walter and you took Bodie. Mm-hmm. You got the easier end of it.
Bodie was a ham. I mean, he was like, I am the man. We were walking around in the airport. We were going to make sure, because we had a layover. And my friend Susie, she lives in San Diego, and which was really awesome is because we were able to have a layover there, kind of break it up a little bit. And when she came to pick us up and I had Bodie with me, I mean, first of all, he was a ham. Everyone on the airport, on the airplane loved him. And it was so funny because I timed it, like I had to use the bathroom at some point, you know, it's a longer flight. And I asked one of the stewardess, I'm like, because everyone in my row kind of left and went to the bathroom at one time. And I thought, this is perfect. I don't have to disturb anybody because you don't want to be that person.
Right,
I wasn't by the window.
Yeah.
And I figured, well, I don't want to disturb anyone. I can get up real quick and go. But I asked the stewardess, I said, do you mind just standing? I will be the fastest person ever because I drink a lot of water. And she's like, no problem. I'll wait. I'll watch him. And he was so good. He was laying there on the floor, curled up. And so she just stood there. I don't know what had happened. But apparently when I walked away, she did too.
Because somehow saying, hey, could you watch my dog meant, oh, let me go do something else.
Let me go do something else. So when I came out of the bathroom, you know, I was at the front of the plane till I came out by the pilots. I walk out and I hear people going, yeah, some lady just left her dog to run rampant on the airplane. And I went, oh my God, I'm not some lady. I'm not some lady. I'm like, what's going on? And sure enough, Bodie had decided to go and frolic. He was running up and down the airplane in the aisles, and people were like patting him while he was going by. He was like, if he was a person, he would have been high-fiving on the football field.
Like running down the field with his hands out.
Like, bam, 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 I'm the man. And it was so funny because when he came back, the other stewardess was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was like, what happened? It was quick. She's like, he just took off. And I was like, okay. But people were fine with him, and I sat him down, and I got to go to the bathroom. That's the goal. But when I got off the plane and he met Susie, if he was a person, he would have been like, well, I got the hottest girl walking around. He was strutting his stuff. She grabbed a hold of him and walked him through the airport, and he was meeting people, and he had his little vest on. So Bodie was a joy. He was easy, and he was very, very exciting to take with me, and he was playful. He was good because it was tight for him. You know.
Now the flip side of that is that I had Walter, and I took Walter because I was coming out earlier, about a month earlier than you, like 3 weeks. And I thought, you know what, we were staying with family after we sold our house, and he had been through a lot with the move and stuff. So we thought, okay, let me just get him and bring him with me. We worked on making them emotionally support dogs so that they could fly with us, because we have a Boston Terrier and a French Bulldog, and they're the types of dogs, and I can never remember that noise.
The nose and the snout.
They can't fly underneath the plane, and they're a little too big to, shove them underneath a seat. So I take Walter, and we flew Alaska Airlines, which you did too. Phenomenal, definitely dog-friendly airline. They were fantastic. But because we had to be in Hawaii early in the morning, we couldn't fly right from New York to here. Agriculture meets you at the plane when you land with the dog, because you have to fill out all this paperwork and send money in and all this stuff. So Hawaii doesn't have any rabies, so they have a very, very strict policy when you bring animals in. Okay, so I leave New York late at night. Mm-hmm. I fly to Portland and stay over. Me and Walter stay over for the night so that we can leave early in the morning and be in Honolulu at like 10 or 11 o'clock. So Walter had one flight, which was delayed in Newark Airport. So he was in the airport for like 3 more hours than he should have been. Then the plane ride, there was 7 dogs on the plane. So Walter was an absolute freak, sat perched, ready for attack for 5.5 hours.
He loves people, but other dogs, he's like, oh my God.
The airport, we stay in a hotel that's dog friendly, which means there was probably 10,000 dogs that have slept in the same room that we were in. So he was a basket case because they were somewhere in the room. He just had to find them. I couldn't convince him that they were just the smells. He wasn't listening to me. And then on the way,
some things don't change, honey.
in Portland to Honolulu, his drugs that I gave him the day before, I guess, kicked in. And then Honolulu, God bless them, they signed this paperwork. He was in and out, no problem. Carly and Ava met me there. They flew over from Maui, surprised me. It was awesome. And then by the time we came back to Maui, he was, when I used the word done, I think he slept for 2 days, where we kept checking his pulse because we were like, what is going on? So now we have a little city boy here in Maui, and he's adjusted nicely.
Yeah, he's doing well.
But he's not necessarily a quote-unquote beach dog.
Yeah, he's not a beach dog. It's cute because you got him. We had him his collar and his had a little bow on. It was Martha Stewart, and we always joke around between the two of us because we have the Martha Stewart. Now that he was here, he got his Hawaiian collar and his Hawaiian leash.
We tried to make him like an island dog.
Yeah, just to fit in with the group so he doesn't get picked on the playground.
Yeah.
And but he doesn't do well with the beach.
No.
I think about, I used to have labs, so you take them to the water, they play, and you see all these dogs, they come to the beach, and they're pit bulls, there's little dogs, there's big dogs, and they're playing, they're running around, they're going in the water. Not Walter.
Nope.
Walter gets his feet wet. I think he was a cat in a past life.
You say that often.
I say that all the time because he acts like a cat, he prances on things, he jumps on stuff like a cat, and he doesn't like getting his paws wet. It's so funny.
Well, there's a video, and we will repost it again after the show airs. Bodhi's birthday was in January. He was 11, and he's just our old man. I mean, we always say if Bodhi was a man, he'd be sitting in his comfortable chair, drinking a Budweiser, smoking a cigar, and watching old movies like the History Channel. Like, he's just that kind of, with his hand, down his pants like, like Al Bundy from Married with Children. But we took him to the beach, and Bodhi loves the beach, so much so that within a week of him being here, he ended up at the vet because he had heat exhaustion. What was it? Heat stroke.
Heat stroke.
So, because he thinks that the ocean is just a big, humongous bowl of water. So we can't quite get him to understand that he can't drink it. But anyway, there's a video. It's about a minute long, and this is the video of our boys. There's Bodhi playing with a 3-foot stick that's still out in front of our house,
floating on the ocean,
that he loved, and he's kicking around sand, and he's rolling around.
He's trying to bury the stick, which is 3 times his size.
And we turn the camera over to Mr. Happy, who's sitting so pissed off. If looks could kill, we would have all been dead. Like, he just did not understand this concept.
Burned us with his eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
Poof, we would have been gone.
But anyway, they are adjusting quite well. And then as far as you and I go, being back here for our 3rd season, we have, it's been an adjustment. We got married in June for our listeners, new listeners. We got married on June 11th. So we are going on 8 months.
Yeah.
And it's been adjustment. We got married. We sold a house. We moved 6,000 miles away. We
changed jobs.
And still
all in, and we're still married.
In the
That's what Jen's
phase.
trying to say. We like to do everything at once. We realized looking back going, oh my gosh, you know what? You're going to have some rocky times. You're going to have some ups and downs with things. And we were like, we really put a lot into 6 months. I mean, we did, you were working a lot. I was working, had the girls going back and forth or whatever, who was graduating and moving. And then I was doing book reads and right after we got married, it was just like we turned up the gears. We went into from, 2nd gear to 6th gear. And it was kind of like all of a sudden at a point we were like, oh my God, what is going on? The year is going by. We're newly married. We weren't enjoying things like we should have, or each other. So it was we had some stressful times, but you know what? We made it through and we worked together. Our marriage is very important to us. Our relationship is very important to us. We love each other, and you know what? It's life, and you learn. We learn from it.
You learn, and I think it comes down to, in relationships, you have people, and it's so interesting because when we started, this was very stressful for us. There was a lot of pressure and hard times over the last couple of months, and being here and meeting so many people from all over the world, and it was almost like the universe just put in my path people who have been married 35 40 plus years. And it was the opportunity I got to talk to people and find out like what pretty much like what makes your marriage work. And we had just finished our marriage segments, and we learned a lot about that. But you can study all you want and learn different things, but until you go through it, it's different. And listening to people talk about things that happened in their marriage or things that works for them, and so many of them had the same answers. A lot of them talked about faith, right?
Faith in God,
having a solid foundation in whatever you believe in. Of course, it was respect and choosing your battles and listening and giving more than you're taking, so that if you're both doing that, then you're both winning. But one of the things that came out of it, I think, is that we had so much that we had to deal with that if, you could throw in the towel and say, this is just too hard. Or you can look at it as, it's kind of like getting sick and having that annoying drip and cough and, where you almost go, okay, like, universe, just bring me to my knees so I can get sick and go to bed for a week and be done with it.
Enough is enough kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just lingers and it goes